evening. Dude79 here, just doing a quick mic check, and you are listening to some music from the upcoming album Stream Vibes from AnthouseBeats, which drops this Friday, September 3rd, on just about every music platform out there. Spotify, iTunes, you name it, it'll probably be there. You're checking out some new music from AnthouseBeats. It'll be good to go on Friday, and then when we close out the show, we'll have another track for you to listen to. So enjoy some AnthouseBeats' new music.
Listen to that steel drum, everybody. Just listen to that.
It's so good. It's so good. Enjoy. We'll be live in just a few moments.
Hi there, Unstoppable. How you doing?
Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. I am the Dude79, and joining me always, my esteemed colleague, Mr. Fanboytone. Mr. Fanboytone, what are we jamming to tonight, bro?
We are jamming to some brand new AnthouseBeats that goes live this Friday, the 3rd. And you're getting a preview. You were getting a preview, and you're going to get more later.
Yes, sir.
Stick around. Those steel drums, Mr. AnthouseBeats, beautiful. I love it. Sounds amazing. So, yeah, very excited that he allowed us to preview some of this on the show for all of you to get some of that early. He's been working hard on this album. This will be, is it fifth? Fourth, fifth?
Fourth album,
fourth,
I believe.
fifth? I can't count. Everybody knows that. So
we know that.
But, yes, and we already see some people out there.
Sixth album.
Sixth? Jesus.
What are you talking about?
I really can't count. But we see some great people out there that we haven't had a minute to actually talk to or see. We appreciate everybody filling in here so fast tonight. It's good to see a lot of you. We're really excited. Man, I really can't get that song. That what was that?
Island Beats.
Island Beats.
Or Island Dance. Island Dance.
Dude, that was amazing. I love steel drums, so I'm very excited about that. I can't wait for the album on Friday.
Yeah, it's going to be hype. And like I said, it's going to be on just about every platform out there, Spotify, iTunes, you name it. That's where you can check out Stream Vibes. Really cannot wait for the full album to drop. That's what I'll be listening to on Friday, leading into a long weekend.
No.
Hype. Cannot wait. So thanks again, Ans, for letting us showcase some new music before the album drops. And stick around to the end of the show. We will have another track to play for you. A hell of a track. You'll really, really enjoy it. Damn it. Now I'm picturing Tone in a hula outfit. Oh, Josh, that's disgusting. Josh,
that's a lie.
That's
He's
really
not,
bad.
Let me tell you something, buddy. You're not the only one.
He's not.
You're not the only one.
Blanco's definitely thinking about it, too.
Oh, Blanco's. I might have to get a restraining order.
Hey, look, before we get into the show, one thing we want to quickly address is what's going on today on Twitch. Obviously, many of you, if you're on social media, you understand that Twitch is kind of a shit show right now. In terms of how they monitor activity and how I don't want to say how they're handling harassment and how they're not handling harassment in a very, very good way. There was a protest today, a day off Twitch, where a lot of streamers were protesting Twitch. They weren't streaming today. It's something that I got caught up on late. We did not cancel the show. Not out of disrespect for what people are trying to accomplish with this. I agree with it 100,000%, and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on. But the reason, there's multiple reasons why we decided to go live tonight. First of all, it's an obligation that we take very seriously. We want to always get on here and talk about stuff with you guys and girls, and it doesn't always have to be pop culture. There's other serious issues that sometimes need to get brought up. And the second part of it is, this kind of goes back to my thought process behind. There's sometimes when things go down in society, people sometimes say, I just want to get away from that. I just want to get away from what's going on, and I don't want to be, I need a break from it. And my thinking is, anytime you take a break from it, that's when the momentum slows down or comes to a crawl or stops. You're not making any progress when you're taking time from something. And I feel that way about this. This is our platform. This is what we do. And I feel like the most effective way for us to address this is to be live on Twitch, demand Twitch to be better right here. Twitch is our home, but I mean, we're going to sit there and demand better from Twitch in the way it protects and its content creators. And so, I understand there's probably some people out there that don't agree with us being live, and I've seen it on social media. Some people don't agree with it, and I understand. But the way I see things, if we take a break and we escape things for a little bit, you lose momentum. I'm going to be on Twitch right here, and we're going to demand better at Twitch. But to kind of give you guys and girls who maybe aren't familiar with what's going on, this is what came out, and it's a day off in Twitch in solidarity with marginalized creators under attack by botting and hate raids. And there's a lot of folks out there who are dealing with these hate raids, and it's disgusting behavior. It's horrible. And it's not fair for a lot of folks to have to go through it. And, I'll be the first to admit, we haven't come across that type of stuff. And it's unfortunate that other people have to. But I'm here to tell you, we demand just as much from Twitch as everyone else. And we want to see Twitch make some changes. And some of the things that the community is asking for, this is a lot, the general consensus is, we want to see roundtable discussions with affected creators to assist with the creation and implementation of more proactive, comprehensive tool sets to combat abuse on their streaming platform. I think that's a good idea. You got to bring in the people who are being affected by this. They're not going to grab Tone and I. They got to bring in the folks who are being affected by this, figure out what we can do as a community and what Twitch can do as the company to make a safer place for everybody. We want to create proactive protection to be implemented immediately, enabling creators to select account age of prospective chatters and allow or deny incoming raids. That's obviously a focal point right now because of the hate raids. These huge raids come in, and there's just people just throwing out just terrible things, saying awful stuff. It's disgusting, and you shouldn't be subjected to that. Nobody should be. And because a lot of people, we create this community just like everyone else creates communities. It's a safe place where people can get together, have fun, talk about the things they love, play the games that they love. Nobody should have to deal with this fucking bullshit. Okay? Nobody should have to deal with this. We want to remove the ability to attach more than 3 Twitch accounts to one email address. I don't understand how this is a fucking thing right now. I don't even know how you can do that. That's just trouble right there. Right. One email, one account. End of the day, that's it. Currently, hate raiders can use one email account to register unlimited addresses. That's fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on like Instagram and you block somebody, it'll say, do you want to block this person and any other accounts they create? Which tells me they're either looking at an IP address or they're looking at the associated email. Twitch needs to implement that shit like 10 minutes ago. Absolutely, right away, that needs to be implemented now. Lastly, we want Twitch to provide transparency into the actions being taken to protect creators, the time frame for implementing those tools, and the involvement of the Twitch Safety Advisory Council. What that's saying is Twitch needs to start being more fucking open with us. Mm-hmm. They need to be more open about things. They need to be more transparent and put things down in writing and let people know, here's what we're fucking doing to protect you. Here's what we're doing to allow you to create a safe space and not have to deal with this bullshit. So, we are fully supportive of everybody that took part in this protest. Absolutely 100% understand why. My logic is, I don't want to take a break. I want to be right here on Twitch and tell Twitch, get your shit together. Get your shit together. Protect all these content creators who have to put up with this bullshit. Get your shit together. Twitch, do better.
Hashtag it.
I mean, it's really that simple. And so I just wanted to talk about that. And again, I'm not trying to offend anybody that did take part in the protest. I'm not against it. I just prefer to be right there on the front line and just use this platform to the best of my ability. That's what we want.
And honestly, and maybe it's because I wasn't on social media much this week, but it felt like our small collective group of people really only found out either maybe somebody last night, everybody else found out this morning about it.
Right.
You know,
and I think that's the hardest thing about organizing these things,
right,
is there's just so many people on Twitch, and unless you're on social media all the time, or if you're on, something, you might not find out about this,
right?
And that's unfortunate. But I mean, I'm not holding it against anybody that was streaming that didn't know about it. I'm not holding anything against people who did protest. Everyone's going to handle things differently. I prefer to just sit here and just tell Twitch, do better. I'm going to use your platform to tell you to get your shit together. I don't care.
Exactly, Prime. Going to take more time and resources to make an effort like that actually works. You're right. And at the same time, Twitch, fucking do better. Protect your people.
Yep, protect everybody.
Protect
and make sure these people don't have to deal with this kind of stuff when they're in their safe space with their community, trying to have a good time. Nobody has to fucking deal with that shit. Nobody should or ever have to deal with that kind of fucking stuff. Hate has no place anywhere, especially in the places that people are trying to create for the communities. It's unacceptable and it's gross. So Twitch, do better.
That's simple.
Simple as that. Speaking of better, Tone, let's talk about how these beers are tasting right now. These are actually really fucking good.
Yeah. So this is the first one of the season that I've been able to grab, and actually drink, I should say. Tonight we are drinking from the one and only is it Dogfish Head? I always say that
Dogfish
right.
Head.
Dogfish Head Brewery, the Pumpkin Ale. I don't believe I've actually had this before, which seems weird for me to say that, and maybe I have. I will say. It's definitely light and it's definitely smooth.
It's light and smooth, but it's 7%.
But it is 7%.
This will jump up and catch us off guard.
Yeah, it's not heavy at all, which is actually sometimes like the pumpkin ale is a little heavier,
right?
Because sometimes it'll be like a stout or something like that. But this is really good.
It's very tasty. It's a very playful. I think
it is
beer.
new as well. See 70 is also saying he thinks it's new.
Oh, he thinks it's new.
Yeah,
okay, I mean it's really fucking. That was Cuddle's stripper name, Light and Smooth.
Oh, it still is. Don't let him
That's
lie to you.
Fucking hot.
Yeah.
Before we continue, before we get into what we've been up to, just want to let you guys and girls know we are doing a giveaway tonight.
Oh, we are.
Yes, we are, Tone.
Oh, we are.
We are giving away a $20 gift code for the platform of your choice, including PlayStation, Xbox, eShop, and Steam. Yes, PC gamers, we're going to include Steam. One thing really quick I want to mention, with Steam, I have to be friends with you on Steam, so you'll have to add me on there, and it takes 3 days. We have to be friends for 3 days before I can actually gift you the $20. So there's going to be a slight delay if we're not friends on Steam. Everything else, I can get you a code right away. So $20 gift card of your choice. Tone, bullshit with some people. Let me type this stuff in really quick.
So, I don't know what to bullshit about, so I'll just keep talking. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day. It is.
What have you been up to? Tell me
one
what
of
you've been
my
up
favorite days of the... Well, now you're going to tell me to switch it up?
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Improv,
Well,
baby.
I have been not up to a whole lot. Work's been little stressful, a lot going on there, but it's still rewarding work, so I enjoy it. It's just I've been spending a lot extra of my energy there. The basement remodel is finally coming along well. We've had and still have a slight hiccup going on, but hopefully we'll work through that soon as well too. Because every step forward that I take with that basement, I take 1 or 2 steps forward or steps backwards. So really exciting. Other than that, I haven't been up to a whole lot. We've been gaming a little bit. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm still working on Knights of the Republic on the Xbox, by the way, which 50 hours I crested last night in that. Played it for about an hour and a half, and then passed out basically and went to bed.
You're a loser, dude.
Well, bought a Series X, play KOTOR, and I'm going to continue to tell you. Like, it's so funny that a game that definitely is not, has withstood, the sands of time in some ways, and definitely hasn't in either modernized controls and clearly graphics. However, if that story just isn't engaging as best as it can be for being that old. So a big fan, still love it. KOTOR is one of my all-time favorite Star Wars games and probably one of my all-time favorite RPGs. And they, again, of course, BioWare, the creator of, the modern westernized, those kind of RPGs like Dragon Age and such. So yeah.
We are getting some follows or subs, and it's not popping up in the chat.
Who's
so
saying that?
I do apologize. I see the thing popping up on the screen, so but it's not popping up in the chat.
Appreciate all those subs though. Appreciate everybody.
Which is that's really annoying. So I do apologize. It just popped up at the last thing. It's on the screen, but it did not pop up in the chat to see who sent those. So I'm not sure why that's not there. But I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a show if nothing fucking worked. So that's cool. But at least the giveaway's working. I can see everyone entering into that. You see it in chat, Cuddles?
I would like to point that out that Megasaurus Rex said, just so you know, if you win the giveaway, Tone is going to make you drive to my home so you can pick up the gift. And that actually is how Megasaurus Rex
Mystic
got
Mike
her
is gifting people stuff.
deal.
Mystic Mike, thank you so much. It's popping up on the screen, but it's not popping up in the chat for us. I'm glad it's showing up in the chat. So, Cuddles, if you could, let us know when somebody does something like that, because it's I can see it on the screen. Oh man, Mystic Mike, thank you so much, dude.
Love you guys. Mossy, it's good to have you guys here. If you guys get a chance, if you can find the link or drop it in there for us, Mike, for you guys as well too. Try North Studios. Check them out on YouTube.
Yes.
They're making all kinds of different content. I mean, I'm sure you guys are going to get to it eventually, but I know he's had his podcast he's been doing on and off for many years at this point. They've got different game reviews going on. They play games. They do all kinds of fun stuff. Go check them out. They've been constantly supporting us for many moons now. We love these guys. We appreciate them. Hopefully some days we can cross some content and work together as well too. But please check out Try North Studios when you get a chance out there on YouTube. And of course you can find Try North Studios in all social media as well too. Twitter, Facebook, I'd imagine in some ways too. I don't know that for sure, but I'm just going to keep telling you guys that I love you and I appreciate you guys' support as always. So thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate you guys. Go check them out. You look confused.
I'm just confused. I'm trying to figure out why this is not popping up on the screen, but thank you so much, Mystic Mike. We appreciate you, bro. But yeah, I'll just try to keep an eye on it. It'll pop up on the screen.
Thank you, Moz, for that sub as well too, buddy.
Popping up in our chat here for me to see.
It's like I got to sub more often. Yeah, telling you, man. Yeah, well, I mean, you guys, like I said, I love being your guys' community. You guys are fun. You guys are always chatty and supportive. Mozzie has shit taste in games, but we make sure to let him know. Me and Virus at the very least. But we really enjoy you guys a lot, so it's really awesome to have you guys here. He's like, it's true. At least he usually admits it. He's like, he was like, I don't really like Aliens so much, so I didn't really care about the game. I'm like, well, that's stupid.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about Aliens here in a little bit. But, Tone, let's talk about this weekend. We got a 3-day weekend, dude. What do you got planned? Any plans for a nice long weekend?
Nope. I probably just not going to do a whole lot. I'm going to go to the comic book store on Saturday. That is the one thing I've got planned. Definitely going to Koi's on Saturday to pick up a couple comics. Sunday, I'm probably going to grill out a little bit during the day, and then that night, I might watch that old AEW pay-per-view that's going to be out, as well too. So Full Gear is coming out on Sunday, so I'm excited to watch that as well too.
Oh, fucking sweet.
Low-key.
I'm going to drink a lot this weekend, I think. Friday night, Michigan State's opener.
Yeah, I got to try and figure that fucking
9
shit out.
9 o'clock, they play Northwestern. I'm going to be hanging out with Freezy. We're
Yep.
going to go over to his place. We're going to eat some food. We're going to drink. We're going to get drunk. I don't know if MSU is going to be any good this year or not. Probably not, but I'm going to have fun. It's football. Dude, like right now, is my absolute
it's fall time.
favorite time of year. I love the fall. Like, don't get me wrong, I like warm weather, I like summer and all that jazz. But for myself, the fall is the absolute best season. Football, you got the biggest games of the year coming out. Some of the biggest movies of the year come out. It's an entertainment, like the entertainment media is just wild in the fall.
I can work on that because I'm going to say the NBA season also starts up in the fall, which is exciting.
Yep.
Pumpkin beers are out.
Pumpkin beers are out.
Oktoberfest beers are out. And it's a good time to bust out your Uggs and go to Timmy Hortons and get you a nice iced pumpkin latte.
And it seriously is the best way to follow up the dog days of August where we have 90% humidity on 90-degree days. Now we get that fucking nice fall weather where all the windows are open. You get that nice cool breeze through the house.
Yeah, hockey too.
Definitely fat guy friendly weather. Really excited for fall to be here.
I just
think
it's
really exciting in general.
Crock pots and like the colors turning from into the leaves are turning colors. Let me try my English here. You know, I know. Yes, hockey. You're big Mystic Mike. Everybody's
he's a huge Wings fan.
He's a huge Wings fan.
Huge
Loves
Red Wings
Detroit
fan.
Wings fan, which we appreciate as somebody from Canada loving the Red Wings. So thank you so much for that support as well. Too.
He wants to resend all those subs.
Right. Hockey town, baby. But yeah, fall time is my favorite time of year. I'm really excited just to have the weekends off in the fall to watch college football now on Saturdays.
White chicken chili. Let's go.
White chicken chili is so good.
Dude, what Josh have in the Discord? Irish nachos?
Irish nachos.
Josh, you're
an
absolute animal.
Scary movies. Watch the Lion Suck. Nobody watches those. That's not even real.
Kate, thanks so much for that follow. Really appreciate it. So Tina's been disbanded. Scary movies, Hocus Pocus, Watch the Lion Suck as usual, hoodie weather. That's really all you can ask for. Man, my kids fucking love Hocus Pocus. Love it. They have that shit on every night in the month of October, dude.
Really?
Oh my god, because they have it on. It's like on one channel. They always play it every night.
No shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, my kids love Hocus Pocus. I can't stand it. See, of course, Blanco likes Hocus Pocus now, and that doesn't surprise me at all. So. But yeah, no, it's my favorite time of year. I love the fall. It's always exciting. We'll have a lot of stuff to talk about on Banter and Babble every week through the fall.
That's gonna be a lot.
We got a lot coming up in terms of movies. We'll talk about what we're doing tomorrow night. We're going to be live tomorrow night. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But Tone,
yes,
I think it's time to get to our first topic, dude.
We have topics tonight?
We have a few topics. We have a video game review, and let's talk about it. We have been playing Aliens FireteamElite non-fucking stop. I'm at 28 hours played, which means Prime is probably at 56 hours.
You guys
played.
got real sick real fast as always.
Yeah, I've been
God damn it, Moss.
That one's definitely probably not a good follow. Cuddles, can you take care of that? I can't even read. I'm glad that didn't pop up in the chat, but no, it was we've been playing obviously Aliens FireteamElite. It's available now on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Series X, S, PC. It's and dude,
your mom might be playing it.
$39.99. We kind of had like, are y'all done with that game so I can unmute Signal? Yeah, Signal was out of control the other night. Thank you, JC, so much. Appreciate those cheers. But Tone, let's talk a little bit about Aliens FireteamElite. Now, look, obviously the Alien franchise has a very checkered past in the video game world. We've only had a handful of good games. Recently, though, Alien Isolation was the one that kind of like was the one game that did the game the IP justice. You know, it was celebrated. It's a great game, but you know, there haven't been too many of those types of games regarding the Alien IP. So we saw this coming out. $39.99 from a new studio. This is a new studio. Cold Iron Studios is a brand new studio. This is their first game. Okay, so we were like, man, I hope this is good because we saw the trailers. We're like, okay, it's a horde mode game. I can get on board with that. It's Aliens. What do we got to lose? $39.99. Let's give it a try. And this thing dropped, dude, to, you know, barely lukewarm reviews. So we're like, oh, well, we'll save our reserve judgment until we play the game.
And we talked about it very briefly last week because we did play it
a little bit, but there were some issues, and there still are. But like the thing that I noticed about these reviews is a lot of them said, if you're a fan of Aliens, you're going to probably appreciate this more than most. And that stuck with me. I was like, okay, I like that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like hearing that because I am a huge fan of the Aliens IP, just like you and Prime and a lot of people. But yeah, this game came out, and it's been a rocky launch in terms of its networking. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room. This game has very dodgy networking right now with its matchmaking. Yes, they've kicked out some patches, and yes, it's gotten slightly better, but it is still not 1,000% reliable. It should be running much smoother, but again, it's a new studio. I'm going to give them some time. They've been very transparent. Don't use your cards. You get challenge cards. Don't use those right now, because if you get booted from the game, you'll lose the card, and there are some really valuable cards in terms of the winnings that you can earn from them. So hang on to your cards a little bit longer until it gets addressed. But Tone, I'm going to lean over to you first. I want to get your initial thoughts on Aliens Fireteam Elite.
And I think I talked about a little bit last week. There's certain games or some games, you always talk about immersion or environment. I always go back to Visceral games and Dead Space games to kind of almost be parallel to similar to something like this. Moss said, "What is Aliens?" And where's Aliens? But, Alien is one of those movies, at least the original, was it 79?
79.
Yeah, 79. Yep. It's really one of those ones, like, how do you package it? Is it a sci-fi movie? Is it a thriller? Is it almost like a alien slasher? There's a lot of different things that Alien did and still does. And one of the things is from a composing aspect of it is create an environment. Mm-hmm. Aliens, it seems like every Alien entry always has a form of, or amount of people who don't like it or take criticism with it, whatever it might be. Aliens was definitely more of that 80s vibe where like just a bunch of people just shooting guns and stuff like that, but it was still, at the end of the day, it was still fun and action-packed, and this game managed to capture really a little bit of everything in that, I think, very well. Aliens, maybe some Alien 3 from the way some of the ones act like a dog alien. But very honestly, at the end of the day, this game is fun. Like, it's fun. Like, I love Gears of War. And I should say that with prefaces that I haven't played a lot of the later ones as much. Mm-hmm. But like when Gears of War first came out in 2006, I was like instantly hooked. One of my best experience playing video games will always be launch day of Gears of War 2, playing through that story. And going through that emotional ride what that was. This game plays like Gears of War, for me, at least that's what it feels like, but has elements of other games as well, too. And it's just, man, honestly, like, when we could get it to work, the three of us, on Saturday, it's been a long time, everybody, since I've taken a day, almost a full day, from anywhere from 4 to 8 hours in a day, and play a game like that, just binge it, and have a blast doing it the entire time. And Yumi and Prime did that, and it was like, it felt great because you got some RPG progression. You got you start crunching the numbers. You start looking at what you're gonna do. As far as what you want to upgrade. You start thinking about strategy. I don't know necessarily if the three classes that we chose are a perfect synergy, but the three of us seem to make it work pretty well. I mean, honestly, it's worked out really well. We haven't had a whole lot of issues playing the three of us together, but at the end of the day, yes, it's a rocky road that it's had. It's a $40 game, so it's definitely what I would consider somewhat of a value. Mm-hmm. If you like shooting games, third-person shooters, which are my favorite compared to first-person, and you enjoy, that Gears of War style, Aliens, honestly, pick it up and play it because it's really a blast. Like, I can't stop wanting to play it. I really can't. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully sometime this weekend, the two or three of us be able to connect and play it for hours at a time.
Yeah, we talk about the network issues, and I'm still concerned for this game in that regard because of two reasons. First of all, we're entering the fall rush.
Yep.
This is where all the biggest titles come out. So you have very little room, very little time to make a solid impression on people. And at this point, even today, the game's matchmaking is still a little bit unreliable. If you jump in with friends... If you jump in with 3 friends, you'll more than likely be able to load into a game and have a lot of fun with it. Right. Because if the one thing this game does right, it nails the gameplay, which is really important. It's really important to nail the gameplay. It is fun as fuck to play as a third-person shooter, and some of the missions, especially later on, are super fucking intense. Like, it is really fun and exciting. So it nails that in that regard. It nails the Alien vibes. But because of the networking issues, it's difficult for people who go in solo and try to find people to play with the matchmaking, and you get stuck with the AI bots. Now, look, the AI bots are efficient at killing, but that is all they can do is shoot. When you have classes, you have abilities. You can't use the AI bots don't have any of those abilities. When you go into each area, there's certain choke points where you got to hold down, and there's boxes with like turrets or something in it. The AI bots can't get access to those items, so it doesn't have. So you're lacking. You're missing a lot of the teamwork stuff with the bots, even though they'll kill things with their guns. It's if you get to the later difficulties, it's just not going to work with the bots. But now the issue with that is, now if matchmaking is a shit show, there's a lot of people that are going to lose interest in this game right away if they can't play with friends. It's a game meant to be played with friends. And if the community starts dropping off, the other thing working against this game, and some of the guys in the chat are talking about it, is there's no crossplay. No crossplay. That is really a missed opportunity. Now, I understand it's a small studio, but if your game launches in kind of a networking nightmare where you're not matching up with people, crossplay would be really nice because it would give you a bigger pool of players to choose from. But if if this game does not get its shit together and people on every platform start dropping off, that's smaller pools for each platform. Whereas if it was crossplay, you might be able to alleviate that. Some of the diehard fans would stick around, and you'd still have more people to play with. So the fact that there's no crossplay is really a missed opportunity. But again, I attribute that to the fact that it's a small studio. It's their first game. I don't know what kind of, Focus Home Interactive, they're not a huge publisher, so I don't know what kind of limitations they have in terms of the budget, what they can make happen. So, and I agree with Anhouse. So every game should be crossplay. It really should be. I mean, it's easier for big publishers to implement it. Smaller publishers, it's a little bit more difficult for them to do that. It really sucks, but that's just the way it is. But, I mean, when the game does load in, if you can get in with some friends, yes, as Tom mentioned, it is fun as fuck. And I do think there is some good synergy between the classes. If you have a doc and a technician and a gunner or a demolisher or a demolisher, there's a lot of fun to be had, especially when you dive into those perk pools and you can find, build your character to your liking, that's going to suit your style of play, but that also is going to benefit the crew altogether. There's a lot of kick-ass shit going on in those menus, and it makes it a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be, it was way deeper. I don't want to say it's like super deep. It's not like a major RPG, but there is enough there. Like you said, you start digging into the numbers, and you're building up your weapon with certain attachments that have certain stats on them. You're like, oh, shit, do I want to go this? Do I want more stability? Do I want more accuracy? There's a lot going on in those menus.
And I would even say, to go along with that, it is enticing, and this is hard sometimes, games like this that have like these hybrid RPGs, it is enticing to want to level up, and this was a realization for me last Saturday, is that when I've got my like, I'm trying to put my perks, their perk system for the record, I think, is actually brilliant because it is enticing. Yeah, like you're like, I want to get to that next level, or I want to get to this level because I want to unlock
on the end of the stick. Yeah,
because you want to unlock and be able to. Okay, well, I want to put these powers here, but I can't until I get to another rank, so I got to keep grinding. It's a very enticing level grind, and that's rare for games that are hybrids like these. And very honestly, that carrot on the stick, that's what partly kept me going on Saturday, because finally I unlocked that one block. I'm like, whew, now I can add some extra parts here, move some things around. Let's see what fits here, and we'll bang something else out. So, good stuff.
And see what works well with that in theory. Obviously, we talked about it a few moments ago, is there are challenge cards that you can get in this game, and that'll change up each mission differently. Like there's one where you'll do less damage if you're moving around. You know what I'm saying? Or if you try to shoot, your character can't move. So there's certain things that'll change up the mission, or if you reload, you'll waste all the ammo in the clip. Now, these all sound like little things, but some of them are much more difficult, but you'll earn like double XP,
high risk, high reward,
or
on some
double
of this stuff.
Credits.
Yeah.
So if you're like, say if you're focused on like the dot class like I was at first, and I rank it all the way up, and I still have all these other classes I want to rank up, but I don't know if I want to have it take as long. You start activating these challenge cards, and they give you extra XP. But the only problem right now with the challenge card system is it kind of it's hurt by the networking. So say if I have like this 3-time XP challenge cards, I'm like, shit, I want to run this so we get 3 times XP. I pop it in, it gets accepted, but then as we're loading in, I get booted out. Not only do they have to restart because there's no rejoin session, which is, again, another missed opportunity. I don't know how you don't have
or
that.
Drop in.
But you also lose the card.
Yeah.
The card is gone, so you're like, fuck, I just lost this fucking awesome card because the game kicked me out. So, I mean, there's a lot of issues tied to this networking stuff that they really need to iron out. Now, they're making progress. Like I said, the first couple days, if you hit join queue, it would say full. You can't play with anybody. Now you can jump into the queue. Sometimes you get matched with somebody. Sometimes you don't. It's something they really need to work on because at the end of the day, when you're in the missions, it's a fun fucking game.
It's a very fun fucking game.
It's really fun. It's exciting. The gameplay, the gunplay is great.
Mm-hmm.
The third person mechanics are great. The classes are fun. It is a fun fucking game when you're playing it to its maximum capability. It's just sometimes it's difficult to get there.
Yep.
That's the only difficult thing. That's like the only major issue. The other thing I want to talk about a little bit is the horde mode that you unlock after the story mission. Is cool. It's a nice addition. It's something cool to do, but I don't think they're nearly. I don't think we only did it a couple times. I don't think it's as fun and exciting as the story missions. I think, and that's because you look at Call of Duty Zombies. When you go into the map, there is objectives, things you got to do. Go do this. Go do that. Whatever. It keeps you busy. Keeps you occupied. In this, there's none of that. Which is a missed opportunity because these maps are really cool. Like, this game has some awesome maps.
Yeah.
And there could be objectives that you could go out and do to keep you busy to kind of balance that and maneuvering around all the islands. It's a cool setting, but it just has like this, just survive the onslaught, which is great. That's fine. But in my opinion, based on the horde mode that we played, I would just rather do the story missions on a higher difficulty and play that way because it's much more. There's more variety to it. There's currently only one horde map. And there's just not enough stuff to kind of keep it fresh, like rotating objectives or something like that. I think that's something they really need to consider for future maps in the horde mode. Is give us some objectives, thing to do other than just stand on a platform and light up a bunch of aliens, which is fun. But compared to the story missions, it feels like it's lacking a little bit. But man, at the end of the day, 28 hours or so, it's a fun game. I want to recommend it super bad to everybody. But right now, it's reserved for people who love aliens, who love and have 3 friends to play with, or 2 other friends to play with. You got to have people to play with. Without crossplay and with the network issues, it's hard to say, go out and buy this game at $40.
Right.
It really is. It's really hard to do that because I don't want people pissed at me. But if you have 3 friends to play with and you love aliens, it's fucking sweet, dude. It's really, really good. And Tony and I were playing on Xbox. We're playing with Prime. If you want to grab it on Xbox, add us. Prime is on this shit. He's on this game all day.
Oh, he's sick.
He's like level 20. He's prestige like 75 times.
Sick.
I'm pretty sure he has all the achievements that are at like 0.01% because he's fucking cool. One more thing I want to mention, though. Starting next Wednesday. Now, it's slated to start on September 8th. I don't know if they'll push it back due to them trying to fix the networking stuff, but Season 1 is slated to begin next Wednesday. It's going to introduce the Phalanx class. We don't have any details on what that's going to do, but that is going to be a new class for you to choose and rank up. The first season pass will also become available. That's going to include outfits, head accessories, weapon decals, colors, emotes, and all that stuff. That's basically all the information we have. So we're going to get a new class. We're going to get some new cosmetic stuff. But in terms of like maps, I don't know anything about that. We haven't heard yet. I'm sure that's something that they'll have down the line. We have a full year. If you buy the deluxe edition, I think it's like $69.99. You'll get the first year for free of all that content. So that's something to consider if you really enjoy the game. Maybe grab the deluxe version so you can get that extended pass. But overall, dude, as an Alien fan, a fan of third-person shooters with tight mechanics, I'm having a hell of a time with this game.
Yeah, honestly, and last thing I'll say, and we can move on, is that I talk about the immersiveness and loving the franchise, including Prometheus and Alien Covenant and those as such too. But I don't know if we've for sure placed the timeline on this Prime. I know we talked about figuring that out. I feel like this is either between Prometheus and Covenant, or just after Covenant, or right around Covenant. One of the two. And I really, really enjoy that. It's making sure to give Prometheus it's like a love. So it's really taking Aliens and kind of giving into that modernized story or the background of those prequels to the Alien franchise.
It was pretty cool going
awesome.
from like finding xenomorphs in the first couple missions, and all of a sudden we got synths.
Switching to synths and having to like be more tactical.
Yeah, that's when it really turns into
right.
like a more of a gear shooter. Like I wasn't using cover too much against the xenomorphs, but when you get into the synths, who are basically other like tactical players, all of a sudden the cover mechanics come into play more, and it was actually a little bit more different. So I like the variety in the missions. The level design is fucking fantastic.
Beautiful.
Prime will attest to that. So will you. Some of the levels are absolutely fucking gorgeous. Like, really cool shit. You actually get to explore the derelict, which is fucking awesome. There was some rad shit in this game. So, man, as a fan of Aliens, I think you'll dig it. I really am pulling for Cold Iron Studios to get this shit figured out with the networking, because once they do that, and if they have content that is substantial down the road, this could be a sleeper fucking hit for many, many months, many years, possibly. But they have to figure out that networking stuff, man. That's the biggest thing right now. Boom.
Agreed.
There's our review of Aliens Fireteam Elite. Let's move on to our next topic. Tone, it is September 1st.
Is it?
It is September 1st.
Oh.
And that means we're going to talk about our most anticipated games of this month.
Of September.
And Tone, we're going to start with you first. I was shocked that you picked this game because I didn't know you were a WarioWare guy. But let's talk about WarioWare. Get it together. This drops on September 10th. You've been playing the demo.
Yeah.
What the fuck is WarioWare?
It's a bunch of crazy-ass mini-games that you have, like, seconds to complete, or you'll lose a life. Yeah, and it's just ridiculous bullshit. It's fucking fun as fuck. The Wii one had some mini-games on there that I remember when I first played it, because you also use the motion controls as well, too, for that I was, like, dying laughing on some of the goofy setups that they had. Just, like, stupid shit. Pulling out nose hairs or whatever the fuck it might be. It's literally, that's what it is. And you can play it multiplayer with other people. So you're trying to beat the clock or whoever can win or whatever. So
it's a party? Is it a party game?
It can be, yeah. It can be kind of a party game. I think they've expanded on that recently. But listen, it's not for everybody, and I have a hard time definitely jumping in if it's a $60 game. I actually don't recall if this is a $40 or $60 game.
If it's Nintendo, it's probably $80.
Correct.
I don't know.
But it's got over 200 some games, and I'm hoping that they'll add more over time as well too. But 200 is actually quite a lot. But download demo to fuck around with it, and it definitely I was getting laughs out of some of the just dumb shit it is. It's just it's all it is. It's just dumb, mindless fun. That's kind of like a pseudo party game, like mini games and things like that.
Would you say it's like a good game for the family? Like if I got this for the kids, like we could all sit down here and play it.
I think like your kids, they'd love to fuck around with shit like this. Yeah, it's a different style of game. There really isn't anything like it. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. Like, is it kind of like Mario Party with its mini games? Yeah, kinda, but there is not no overall goal besides just getting as far as you can in the time you're allowed for each minigame. You have like seconds to do it and figure out, like, it might say push this thing over here, but you might have all these things you got to push. Like, literally you have like 5 seconds to figure it out, or you lose a life. It's very frantic, and that's part of the fun of it too. And some of the shit is just like, they show the one in that clip there too, like, and that's in the demo. Like, it says pull out all the the tweezed arm hairs, like it's a dude just sitting there like flexing, you pulling out some arm hairs or some
Robin Williams arms going, man. I'm very
we both do.
I'm very furry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we know.
Very furry.
Very. But yeah, it's good stuff. There's not a whole lot on September that I'm really overly excited about. I'm really not buying a lot of things these days, just because I'm either working on my backlog or just haven't had a whole lot of time to play games. This one's definitely on my radar. I don't know how fast I'll jump into it, but I'm very excited about it. They're fun.
No, it looks really cool. I'm not picking it up because I don't fucking care.
Right.
I was honestly, man, when you sent over your list, I was like, is he trolling
right? Well, I looked at the list of games. I
go, really? WarioWare? And you're like, oh yeah, man, it's dope.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. Like, it's a fucking good time.
Yeah,
makes me giggle.
Don't care. Awesome.
Right.
But okay, cool. I'm gonna move on to a cool game. I know Blanco's ready for this shit too, man. Let's talk about Origami 2.
This looks fucking sweet though.
I'm really excited for this. Okay, I am super fucking excited for Origami 2. Blanco, I've actually been playing through the first Origami on Xbox, slowly just going through the missions, trying to get the S rank and all the missions and stuff like that. I love that about the game. You get graded on your performance. You know how you go in. You can go in and kill everybody, or you can be super fucking stealthy and not kill anybody. It was a great game when it came out. The first Origami, there were some technical issues. It didn't run as smooth as I would have really have liked it to. It runs much better now on the Xbox
Ooh.
Series X and the PS5. It takes advantage of that hardware, so it's a smooth 60 on there now. But Origami 2 drops on September 17th. It is $34.99.
Or
Much higher price. But if you have Xbox Game Pass, it'll be there day one. So I will be playing on Xbox. $34.99 is a lot during the fall, and the fact that it's on Xbox Game Pass is fucking huge. I am really excited for
Huge.
Linceworks. I'm a big fan of theirs. It's one of the few games of last gen, the indie games, I was like, man, this is a really cool concept. And the fact that you could play this one with 3 people co-op, let's go. I know Blanco's down. I know you're down. I'm sure other people will be down. I am really excited. This drops on September 17th. It's a third-person stealth game. You play as an assassin with the power to control the shadows. You get greater on your performance. There's 3-player co-op. This is going to be kind of a sleeper hit, I think, for Game Pass. This is the perfect game for Game Pass because obviously you're going to reach a lot of people, and it's co-op. So you're going to have a huge pool of people to play with, especially on Xbox. But, I mean, if you don't have an Xbox, buy this shit on PlayStation. Linceworks is a developer you should be supporting. They're a developer. They're one of those indie developers. Well, I want to see what happens when they get to like the upper echelon of developers.
Right, get their hands
if they
on
can
something big.
get to that like AAA budget or get under a publisher that'll give them just unlimited resources to make a fucking game, Linceworks is fucking good. So I'm really excited for this to drop on September 17th. Absolutely cannot wait. Blanco, I know you're feeling the same way. Cuddles is already doing bullshit, which is why I love Cuddles, because he's all about that bullshit. But Tone, let's move on to your next game. One that, this one makes sense. This one makes a lot more sense than
this
WarioWare.
is way in my wheelhouse.
Let's talk about Diablo 2 Resurrected.
Yeah. Man, I tell you what, I played the demo of that 2 Saturdays ago, I want to say it was, or whatever it was. I don't recall for sure. Because my weekends are a blur. That's what happens.
Because you're drunk most of the time.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, Saturdays for getting drunk. If you didn't know. I didn't play a lot of Diablo 2 compared to the first Diablo. At that time when Diablo 2 came out, instead of playing PC games, I was out partying a lot. Shock. When this came out. So I didn't give it enough time. And listen, I love isometric games. I love these kind of games. Diablo 3, for all the shit that it was, especially at launch, playing that on PC, moving to console, and I actually prefer it on console because I like the roll. I feel it does well on a controller. I felt this kind of took a step back because the controls aren't as friendly as they were with Diablo 3 to a degree, which is a little disappointing. But I'll tell you what, played this for about 3 hours and had to literally tell myself, put the fucking controller down.
Oh, really? Felt that good.
And it's these isometric games, man. This kind of grind shit, I start playing them, I instantly get hooked. When Path of Exile came to Xbox and I played that on Xbox, I couldn't fucking stop for weeks. Like I just couldn't leave it alone. And I personally think Path of Exile, like compared to Diablo 3, is a better game. But it's exciting to go back and play a little bit of this. The graphics are better. I mean, it's still pretty dated. You can tell like it's remastered to some degree. The cutscenes are nice, but I really didn't like the controls overall for this as much as Diablo 3. But then after about an hour playing it, I was like, okay, this is fine. I can handle this. It's a good time. So I don't know whether or not, like I keep saying, like I'm really, really picky about the games that I'm buying and I'm playing right now. So I might not jump onto this right away, but I guarantee when that fucker goes on sale for a really fair price, I'm probably going to pick it up. I probably will. So good stuff. Like I said, love isometric games. Love these kind of RPGs. Prime Didact right there. Probably just name dropped my all-time favorite isometric RPG. We played the fuck out of Sacred 2. I probably put in maybe 200 hours in Sacred 2 on 360. You had an FMV or whatever you want to call them, live concert in the middle of that game. There were 4 secret bosses. There was crazy. The game was the studio that did that was unfortunately so small and I think ran out of money or something. Never properly updated the 360 version, so certain bugs never ever got fixed. But it is one of the most deepest, compared to even Path of Exile, still to this day, deepest isometric RPGs. Even compared to Diablo 3, Diablo whatever, you could literally take a piece of armor, have a gem, and that gem might have unlockables in it, and then more unlockables inside of it. It got very, very micromanaged. Like, way micromanaging. And I'll tell you what, this guy loves that. So Sacred 2, big fan. But yeah, end of the day, I am excited about this. I might not play it right away, but this is definitely a game I will get in the future and play.
Cool. No, that's it's something that I would love to. I love the fact there's cross progression because BlizzNet has everything tied together, so you can do cross progression. So this will be available on the Nintendo Switch as well. So if you play it, you know, you play it on Xbox or whatever, and then you're like, "Oh, I want to take this on the road with me." You can log in on your Nintendo Switch.
8-player co-op. Did you know that, by the way?
I did not play it. No, 8 players. Isn't Diablo typically 4?
Yeah.
Wasn't the Diablo 3 a 4-player co-op? Is it 8 fucking players?
I don't know if that's true or not. I just read that out there. 4.
4. Okay. All right. I was gonna
He
say
said 8-player. I was just going with him. Like I couldn't tell if that was.
House, why'd you give me all
couldn't tell if that was coop or poop, but
man.
But no, you know, jokes aside, yeah, this is a great. These games are great for multiplaying.
Oh, 8-player. It is 8-player for D2.
Okay, well then.
Wow.
Oh, D3 is 4. Yeah.
D3 is 4. 8 fucking players.
So think about
community night.
Think about that for community night. Just saying.
B&B community night. Let's go.
Man,
like, now we might have to buy the.
There's like 3.
Thing.
Well, you can buy it for me, bitch.
But it's not cross play though, right? I don't believe it's cross play. Just cross progression. I don't think I saw cross play in the trailer. Maybe there is. But if doubt it. Okay, well that's unfortunate. But no, and I will say this, man. The Nintendo Switch version of Diablo 3. In my opinion, is the best port that system has had. Diablo 3 runs and looks fucking fantastic on the Switch. Fucking fantastic. Like a smooth
very
60
crisp,
frames.
isn't it? Yeah.
Very clean image. The Diablo 3 on the Nintendo Switch is one of the best ports, if not the best port, over to that system. It is fucking awesome. So if you have a Switch and you're looking to play some Diablo before this drops, you cannot go wrong with Diablo 3 on the Switch. It is fantastic. Runs absolutely great. Final game that I'm really excited about. Talked about it last week, but Deathloop. This drops on PlayStation 5 and PC on September 14th, which is 2 weeks. Holy shit, man. We are, like I said, fall rush. Love the fall rush.
Here, man. Today's the 1st.
This is from developer Arcane Studios. This is the one of the interesting ones. This is from a Bethesda studio. That the contract was negotiated for a PS5 exclusive. It's also going to be on PC, but it's a PS5 exclusive from a developer that is underneath the Bethesda banner, which is owned by Microsoft. So this will be a 1-year exclusive on PlayStation 5. I am a fucking huge fan of Arcane Studios. I love the Dishonored series. The Dishonored games were fucking awesome, and it looks like they're taking a lot from that and bringing it over to Deathloop, where you're this agent. You go into this huge world with where you're tasked to kill 8 targets, and if you die, you go right back to the beginning and you start over. But what's rad about this, there is a multiplayer element. My understanding is you can turn this element off, but if you leave this mechanic on and you're playing your game, somebody can spawn in as the female agent and try to stop you from taking out the targets. She blends in with everybody else, so you don't know where she is or who she is, but you have to be, mindful of your surroundings. This game looks fucking dope. Again, I love the combat and the Dishonored games, and there's a lot of that in this. The gunplay was really, really good. The traversal mechanics were good. You've got, these kind of like these supernatural abilities. I'm really excited for this, man. When I seen Arcane was doing this game, and there's going to be some multiplayer elements to it, I'm on board for this shit. I'll be there day one. I'll be streaming this on B&B Plays. I cannot wait for Deathloop. This shit looks fucking... See, Tricky Regent knows, man. He knows what's up. I mean, if you look at this gameplay, man, it looks good. They have this cool art style with the arcade
That's
games.
what I was waiting to say. The art design, I love Arcane's art design.
They have like that... What was that one game that came out on Xbox that didn't do particularly well, but it had those like same types of characters? Prime, help me out, dude. It released as kind of an early access game. It's done a little bit better over time. Not BioShock. Same vibe as BioShock. Same vibe, but oh god, it's where they take the pills and it makes them happy or whatever. You know what I'm talking
Matrix.
about? No, not that Matrix, dude. Prime, help me out, bro. Not happy something. We happy few. There you go. Yep, he's right. Happy. Yeah, we happy few. Same kind of like art style as that. Very similar. So I'm fucking hyped for this just because I know how Arcane does their combat. I know they're very, very good at combat. I'll be here on day one, man. I cannot wait for Deathloop. How do you feel about Deathloop? I know you're kind of like,
No, I now that you said a year of exclusive, I'll play it next year on Xbox. I just, again, it's one of those things
that's
where
a Game Pass title for sure.
Yeah. So I can wait a little bit for it. No, I think it looks fun. I'm at a place right now with games for me. I have no qualms with it. I probably normally, if I was not spitting out money for everything else right now, probably be interested in playing it. I think it looks like a great time. I didn't finish, I think, even the first Dishonored, and it's a series I've always wanted to go back and play because I actually really like Arcane Studios, because when I played a Dishonored, I was like, oh my god, this game is like, wow, it's fucking crazy. Stealth first person like this and good.
Right.
Like, that's a big deal. But their art design and just the group overall, I'm really excited about. And real quick, what up, Jamizzo?
Jamizzo, what's up? Yeah, it's been a minute. What's going on, Jamizzo? Blanco, Dishonored was fucking incredible. I actually got the Clean Hands trophy. I know you don't give a shit.
I just don't
like you.
The
Clean Hands trophy was really cool. You couldn't kill anybody through your entire playthrough. I was a good boy.
Oh.
Lots of stealth, lots of non-lethal takedowns. I went crazy for the stealth, or for the what do I call it? Something hands.
I don't care.
I know he doesn't care, but it was such a good game. The Dishonored games are so fucking good. Clean Hands, there you go. Miz, it is not boring. Even because you could still use all of your abilities. You could still use all of your abilities, and that's what made the game so fucking fun, is there was this balance of gunplay and like these supernatural abilities. Dishonored games are fucking dope. I believe those are on Game Pass. If you guys and girls have not played Dishonored 1 and 2 and the expansion for 2, the DLC, Dishonored, oh my god. Cuddles, I think Cuddles just exists to not only boot out shitty people who come to the stream, which we love him for. I think Cuddles is just, he's like just...
He's your nemesis.
He's the buzzkill.
No, he's your nemesis.
He's Buzz Killington.
I just think he's your nemesis.
He's Buzz
Me and him
Killington.
agree on a lot of different things, but you guys typically don't agree on very much of anything.
No, he shits on Nick Cage, which should make him your fucking nemesis.
I'll fucking come to your house and fight you.
See?
No. I think he's literally your, like, you guys are both on two different spectrums.
No, the thing is, but see, that's the one thing I love about Banter and Babble. Cuddles can come in here. He can throw his hate.
He's entitled to that opinion.
He's entitled to it, and I respect that. He's wrong, but I respect his wrong opinion. So it's totally fine.
He's nega-dude, yeah.
He's nega-dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was trying to go stealth that one mission that confirmed the princess was your daughter. I ripped everyone to shit, diswicked.
There you go.
You speak the truth. Okay, well, that's why I love you, Cuddles. You're always speaking the truth. Your truth is bullshit, though. So I love you.
Well, you don't really like battle royale games, do you? See that there's enough answer. He plays a good portion of those, and like watching those guys
he plays them, but he doesn't win any.
Are you kidding me? When they play Realm Royale, these guys fucking win
because
a lot.
It was him versus a bunch of bots.
Oh, okay.
Nobody plays Realm Royale.
Just saying, it's a fun game to watch, and they play it a lot. So.
No, I'm just joking. No, he is good at Realm Royale.
No, he sucks
I know
at
he is.
it. I don't know.
Bitch, I win all the time.
He doesn't. He wins a lot. He gets into these fucking crazy things, and Miz has been dead for an hour. Miz ain't helping worth shit, and Cuddles got to carry the whole fucking team. But anyways.
House wins at Apex. Cuddles wins at Realm Royale. I mean, look, I love the idea. I've got a couple of wins in Apex. I got maybe 2 or 3. I've got more wins in Warzone, but I don't know what it is, man, about Battle Royale. Unless I'm playing in the duos and stuff. When I play solo, I am so stealthy. I don't engage with anybody. I am a fucking lie in the weeds. Avoid everybody until the last possible moment. That's why I don't stream it. I am a fucking piece of shit when it comes to Battle Royale. I don't engage, and I sit in the weeds and I wait. And people are like, man, I fucking hate people like that. Prime does it too. He understands.
No, Prime does not do that. You don't play stealth games with Prime. Fuck that.
Yeah, that is very, very true.
Fuck that. That's not even true. And honestly, everybody, yes, Miz does play with Cuddles, and when Miz plays those games, it's usually like, duh, what am I shooting at, Cuddles? Then he's dead. Cuddles usually has to carry for a while. Then they win, and then Miz is like, oh, we won. And everybody forgets that Miz has been dead for like an hour. It don't matter. So
yeah, I'll admit I'm trash at BR games. I'm just not fun to stream it. I try to.
You guys are definitely end of the fucking spectrum, man.
Absolutely. A couple other games one other game I want to mention that I'm excited about in September is Kenna Bridge of Spirits, and I know you're excited.
I am excited about that game. Actually, I'll probably
Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I already got that one pre-ordered. Really excited for that, and I know you're kind of curious about Death Stranding and Director's Cut. With
I-
all the shit they're adding, did you watch the video for that?
No.
They're adding a lot to this
I
game.
am afraid if I jump into that, it's going to take me away from other things. So I'm being cautious. Now, if you got the game, I think you can just add on, right? Already.
I don't know.
See
I
that?
don't know the specifics
I don't want
on
to
that
lose
yet.
my save. Like I don't like replaying games, so I don't want to start over that. If
I
I can't
don't-
just
I think
start
you can
from,
carry your. I think you can carry.
if
over
I can
your
carry
save.
my
I
save,
gotta believe
that's
they have since. I mean, that was one of the things that the Xbox Series X did so much better than the
smart
PlayStation
delivery
5.
is so
But
fucking
now
good.
that but if you notice the last couple of games that have come
They're
over,
figuring it out.
like Ghost of Tsushima, some of these other games, Final Fantasy VII, they've figured out how to get around that. So they're starting to like balance that out a little bit. So I have to believe if Ghost of Tsushima and Final Fantasy VII the remake has that, I gotta believe Death Stranding has the ability to bring
Yeah.
your save over. I would be shocked if he couldn't. All right, those are our most anticipated games of September. If you're watching this on YouTube, let us know. Sound off in the comments
Bronco.
which game you're excited about. Give us shit to use these coins. I know! Damn it, you guys. I promise. Miz, I believe it's September 23rd. Was that what I read?
What's that?
The Battlefield beta. There's a beta.
the
dropping,
beta. Yeah, so I put that under a file called I don't give a shit.
I'm actually that's the one shooter. I think Prime was talking about this the other night. This is the first year, dude. I have zero interest in Call of Duty. I've always been one of those guys where I will never sit there. Wait, who won? Did Jay Hill win something?
Hey, you want some?
He just said Jay Hill, did he win? No, he didn't. Did it already win?
There you go.
Or is he throwing me off? Jay Hill he's so fucking high right now. He probably saw that he won. Let me see here. What a scumbag.
Do you know how to work the fucking bot?
Yeah, I do. Oh, he's got 14 minutes. Jay Hill, man.
You
Got him.
So just so everybody knows, if you were just joining or haven't been here the entire time, make sure exclamation point. Did I say that word right?
Yeah, exclamation point enter
You
to
say
get
it.
into the drawing that
Yeah.
Jay Hill supposedly just won. Hey, Cuddles, ban Jay Hill for an hour. Just so in case he does
Motherfucker.
win. Just for 17 minutes, so in case he does win, it'll get moved over to somebody else because he can't claim it.
El Blanco. 2K coins telling us to review something as Nick Cage.
But there are a lot of games coming out in September. So again, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on Spotify and iTunes, let us know which ones you're excited
what
about.
tickles
Tales
your
of
goat?
Arise comes out. I mean, that's a huge.
That's getting a lot of media push
A lot
right now,
of
too.
hype behind that game.
A lot of
So
media push.
There's a lot of big games coming out this month. We want to hear from you. Let us know what you're excited to play, especially if you're more excited than WarioWare, which is a really, really interesting choice.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, sure it is, man. All right. Speaking of games, we're going to stay in video games. We got a lot of video game news to talk about tonight, dude. We have a trailer reaction. You got to use your teeth, bro.
Oh, come on, that hurts.
Come on, man. We have a trailer reaction. Today, we finally got to see some gameplay of Marvel's Midnight Suns from Firaxis Games, the developer of the XCOM game.
XCOM.
Finally, there's some truth to the rumors. Ooh, some truth to the rumors from a month ago where everyone's like, oh, they're going to show an XCOM Marvel game at E3 or something like that. Everyone's like, oh, shit. And then they never showed up. And they're like, oh, it must not be true. No, it is true. Firaxis Games is making a Marvel game, but not sure if it's what we were expecting it to be. Let's check out this trailer.
How long was I in that crypt?
I know where the sun rises.
No more than a few centuries.
Some of the characters are very quizzical, though.
Centuries? And what of Lilith?
Fallen by your hand.
And I know where the sun sets.
Until now.
Marvel?
You were
Marvel.
missed.
Whatever Caretaker put you through back in the day did a real number on you.
I know where the sun rises.
We got a lot of work to
I
do.
know where the sun
Parts of this looks
sets.
good, and then yeah, it does seem a little rough and a little closer, I guess.
I do like that play. It's fucking dope.
I remember.
Of course. Caretaker has reformed the Midnight Suns.
I know where the sun rises.
Not on Switch.
About time.
You're a Midnight Sun
I have
now.
Marvel Ultimate
One of
Alliance
us.
2, that was on my PlayStation 5 at all times. One of my favorite PlayStation 5 games ever.
It will be on Switch, Dungeons.
Whistler.
Let's go. Got branching storylines. It looks like.
The guy that's doing Wolverine's voice apparently has done his voice before. Cross-check that, Prime. I know, right? There are elements of this game that does look good, but I'm definitely... Prime, who was the original Midnight Suns? Who was in that original group for that? 'Cause I feel like some of the characters in this are a little weird. But the guy that does Wolverine's voice has done his voice before. Got everybody excited. Might even be the guy from the cartoon. I'm not sure. As looks like Jake Champion or whatever. Yeah, I used to play one of those games. Strike Force. That's the Robbie version of Ghost Rider, which... Yeah, Johnny Blaze one. And that's, like, listen, it looks definitely a little dated on graphics, and it might be because of the gameplay. And it's exciting because some of the characters there that are getting some spotlight are characters you typically don't play in any fucking game when it comes to Marvel. But I feel like the problem is that, and I get it from a marketing standpoint and a moneymaker, that every fucking Marvel game now has to sprinkle in some fucking Avengers. Because you know who I don't think about in the Midnight Suns? I don't think about Iron Man. I don't think about Captain America. I certainly don't think about Captain Marvel. I remember Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze. I'm pretty sure like Blade and Wolverine and these guys, like these darker characters. And Strange, I believe, as well, too. Like, I don't remember the original cast. If you guys figure that out. And that's fine. Like, but I feel like sometimes they're just trying to still get everybody in that's kind of casual.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, well, I understand it. Sometimes that's not really the target audience that's really still gonna like enjoy it. So you almost like ruin it because you saturate it with like characters I don't want to see in this kind of shit. Like I want more obscure characters in something like this. Like I'd want like where the fuck is Moon Knight? Like why instead of Iron Man can't we have Moon Knight or something like this? But what's really unique about this game is certainly the gameplay, which was really surprising, I think, for everybody. And that's a weird choice. Like you said, like Slay the Spire or Hearthstone or
like these are. And don't get me wrong. I'm not mad that it's a card strategy game. That and that's what it is. You get these random cards with these abilities that you use for your characters. You get a team of 3 heroes that you go into, and and I'm not an XCOM player, and that's totally cool. I think XCOM is fucking awesome.
Oh, those games are great.
I love the strategy involved in XCOM. But then I thought about when we first heard about a Marvel game that's going to be XCOM style. I was like, well, that's interesting because XCOM is always about your guns and your grenades and all this stuff. So it's more of a tactical cover shooter. And I was thinking, man, it's probably a little bit more difficult with people who are melee combat, who have different abilities that are like, superhero abilities. How do you transfer that over? How do you translate that over to an XCOM style game? Whereas you have these ability cards, you get it's a card strategy game. That makes a little bit more sense considering everybody that's involved. You have all these different abilities for all these super. You can't have fucking Iron Man or Blade sitting around with a machine gun shooting from cover. You got to have some of their, obviously Iron Man flies around more. Blade has a lot of melee combat. So it's probably a little bit more difficult to make an XCOM style game. And the creative director Jake Solomon said during an interview, we knew we were swimming in deep waters with this one, but this is easily as tactical as XCOM, which is really interesting. I mean, obviously you get this team roster of 3 heroes. You can pick 3 people. You have random cards selected for their abilities. The environment impacts gameplay. We saw a couple of characters kick people into like red barrels and they blow up, so you get extra damage. The cards can be upgraded, and immediately when this thing dropped, there were people on social media going, "Oh, great, cards can be upgraded. This is going to be a pay-to-win game." That was the first thing people got really pissed about. They started to assuming that there was going to be microtransactions, that it was going to be like just a pay-to-win game. But they have since come out and said there are no loot boxes and no microtransactions involved with the card system. The card system is not involved. Everything else that you can buy, again, I don't have an issue with, is cosmetic only for your outfits, gear, whatever like that. I don't give a shit about microtransactions in games. I buy stuff in games if it's cosmetic. I don't care about helping developers. I am not one of these people that's like, oh, it's a $60 game. I don't want to have to pay for stuff. Bullshit. It's a $60 game because they know that's the only way they can sell it. If they try jacking the prices up of these games to meet the budgets of these titles, dude, it would be You think 70 is bad? We'd be talking higher prices. I don't care about paying for microtransactions for cosmetic stuff. No. So are we getting the OG Blade skin? That'd be awesome. If we got like the fucking Wesley Snipes skin. Like, give me an actual.
It would be
Wesley
dope,
Snipes.
but I think unfortunately Marvel has a separation there because it's not MCU and they didn't have a hand in it. But
that's
to
true.
follow up with some things, King Cuddles, thank you for that information as well too.
What did Cuddles say here?
I want to start with the game. It's loosely based on the adaptation of the '92 team up crossover, Rise of the Midnight Suns. So it talks about there if you want to check that out. Who was involved in that? But I knew this team was a lot versatile. It's the characters I would think it was. And I do now remember Mobius, and you mentioned there Morbius. It was composed of Ghost Rider, the Daniel Ketch version, which was probably my favorite, Johnny Blaze, the Vampire Mobius pseudo, Night Stalkers, which is really, I haven't even thought of them in a long time, but which included, of course, Blade, Frank Drake, and Hannibal as well too. And the Darkhold, the Darkhold Redeemers, who were focused on destroying the ancient tome of evil known as the Darkhold and its physical embodiment, the Dwarf. So the Darkhold is an important book because the Darkhold book is similar to some of the tomes that you see in Doctor Strange and what we see with, actually, Darkhold, I believe, is the book that Wanda has at the end of WandaVision. So that's pretty interesting. Johnny Blaze rode a horse. There you go. Exactly. So, again, I get it to a degree. Like, listen, I know we're going to talk a lot about the gameplay. That's the big piece of it because it's unique how they're doing it with the cards. I'm not dismissing that. It's probably got a chance to be fun. I'm not worried about buying this day one. I'll wait for a sale to check it out, and I want to see the reviews on it. Right. But I do like Firaxis. Would I have preferred this to be more of a normal like XCOM? Absolutely.
Right.
I love that shit. But more importantly for me, outside of that too, are the characters. Like, I just feel like Iron Man, like Wolverine fits into this, like Blade clearly, Ghost Rider, but like Iron Man and Captain America, like these are Avengers that people know from the MCU. They want to put them in the forefront because they want to keep that tie-in to, and I understand it, but I don't feel like it necessarily fits either. So.
Yeah, I'm not gonna knock card-based games. I mean, a lot of people were like, "Oh, so this is a mobile game," and I was like, "Oh, come on!" But Slay the Spire, Hearthstone, there's a lot of great card-based games. I think a lot of people were just, you look at Firaxis games and you think XCOM, you're thinking this is a tactical shooter or something like that. But I just don't know if you can make that work, like with superheroes. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to change it up a little bit.
I mean, I don't think you couldn't, honestly. Like, I mean, there are games that are like, take Fire Emblem, for example. It's a tactical, like, grid base that has a lot of melee. Like,
right.
I mean, if you look at it like, even like Final Fantasy Tactics, any of these kind of games that play like that, I think that would work just fine. Clearly, you got Wolverine who does, the melee, or Blade. But like Iron Man or even Ghost Rider, they have plenty of range attacks as well, too. So, I honestly still think that this would be great as a normal game like that. Now, listen, I do want to check it out.
Oh, yeah,
I'm definitely curious about it. I'm open to it. I'm definitely a little bit more hesitant that it's a card base, and I'm nitpicking when it comes to the character choice and the story. So, but we'll see. And definitely the graphics do look a little bit wanting. There's some parts of it that I thought was cool, and then the more I kept watching it, as the jokes rolled in, I'm like, man, I kind of see what they're saying. If I look, wait, hang on a second, look, I got ears.
They did Mario plus I don't think Firaxis did Mario. That was Ubisoft. Mario plus Rabbids is fucking awesome, by the way.
Look good, though? Do I look like Wolverine? Is that cool?
He does look like Wolverine with those ears. Look at him. That's Wolverine.
Watch it there, bub.
Oh, man. Who am I? Oh, yeah. I'm Johnny Blaze.
Oh, shit. You Ghost Rider.
Ah! See, oh, wow. I just almost stroked out. That was really bad.
I'm calling the cops.
I had red face with the flames. That was dope. This comes out March 2022. We don't know much more about it, but we do know that they will be showing more next Tuesday. So make sure you're following Firaxis Games on Twitter Check them out. They're going to show us more. We'll see what this game is all about.
This is fucking hard.
I'm curious about it. I'm curious. I'll be curious to see how it pans out. But I don't know if a card-based XCOM is what I want.
We'll see.
But we'll see. Hey, man, for Axis games, they make great games. XCOM games are fucking sweet. And the creative director says, look, this is easily as tactile as XCOM. Obviously, he's going to say he can't come out and be like, oh, it's fucking nothing like XCOM. He can't come out and say that. I always love that when people are like, oh, well, so-and-so said this. They said it was a great game. Like, can you imagine if, like, a creative director for a company came out and said, man, this thing fucking sucks. This is shit. This is nothing like XCOM. I love when people say, well, they said this. They have to. They have to say this.
Yeah, they're selling you something.
They're selling you something.
Snake oil.
That shit cracks me up when people are like, they take all that shit at face value.
Yeah.
But, cool idea. Lots of questions. We have a long ways to go before launch. We'll see how it pans out. Not sure yet about this one. All right, Tom, how you doing? How you holding up?
I'm all right. Don't forget, everybody, that if you want to try and still win that gift card, exclamation mark.
That's going to be really soon.
I can't even say the word.
Exclamation point, enter. 30 seconds. Exclamation point, enter. 30 seconds.
If you have not yet.
Exclamation point, 30 explanation. I can't say it either.
What
fucking
the fuck
pumpkin. It's the pumpkin ale.
Is it the pumpkin?
Exclamation point, enter. To enter for a chance to win a $20 gift code on the system of your choice, either PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, or eShop. Exclamation point, enter. You have 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the winner is Freezy989.
Holy shit!
Holy fucking shit!
Is he even here?
He was. Well, obviously he is. He put in for it. Exclamation point claim, Freezy. You have like 1 minute, bro. Exclamation point claim.
Her tone's dark hold.
Oh my god! It shows him in the chat. Hopefully he didn't step away. Trade him for some sandwiches.
No shit.
Exclamation point claim.
Oh, you fucker.
Brian, what a scumbag. Freezy, you have like 45 seconds. You have like 30 seconds, bro. Exclamation point claim.
And you,
there it is.
There it is.
Hey,
yep.
There it is.
And you can't let the bus go under 55 miles an hour.
Freezy, I'll be drinking with you on Friday night, so I will have your code for you Friday night. Or I can give it to you tomorrow. Whatever works. I got you covered.
He's going to write it on his belly.
Let me know what you need, buddy. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate everyone participating in the giveaway. I'm glad you won. Glad you won. Congratulations.
Yeah, I didn't get the invite for Friday either.
Well, that's because you're not cool, bro.
Guess not.
You're not cool. All right, moving on to the next topic. We got a movie to review. This is one you were kind of excited about because you are a fan.
I am a fan.
Of The Witcher. Let's talk about The Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf. This is available now on Netflix. 83 minutes. I'm only going to talk about it briefly because this is The Witcher guy. I thought it was really, really good. The animation was fantastic. The story was good. I got some... Obviously, I have never played through The Witcher 3, but I know who Vesemir is. He's at the beginning. I'm really glad I got a really cool kind of like origin story for Vesemir. And there was a lot of compelling stuff going on in this episode.
Yeah.
You got to figure out, man, Vesemir saw a lot of shit when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of a badass, too, man. When you meet Vesemir in Witcher 3, he's this old curmudgeon Witcher.
Yeah.
He's this older dude. And you're like, this guy could have never been a badass. Yes, he was a badass. And you got to see like this cool story. But, man, there was a lot of shit going on that Vesemir was dealing with, especially with his mentor. But, Tone, I'm going to come over to you now, man. What'd you think of Nightmare of the Wolf?
Honestly, first of all, I love the animation. It's very similar. I think Prime said it to Castlevania, which if you haven't seen that, also very awesome. This animation I'm really, really enjoying. I think we talked about it a few weeks back about how the West has adapted more of kind of that, making more media that's animation, things like that. And over time, it keeps getting better and better. Typically, I would watch things like this. I have a hard time not watching them in some form of like subbed language. But very honestly, this was like the voice work, the soundtrack, like the music to it was really awesome.
It was great.
It really had like shades of the Witcher game and things like that as well too. I was really, really excited because when it started out, I'm like, I don't know where we at in time, where's this going to take place, and when you realize the kid you're dealing with is Vesemir,
I was
like,
oh, I
shit.
thought this was like a spin-off of something fucking random,
right?
And then when they, because I'm like, who is this dude? Like, who is this guy? He's a badass, but I don't know. It's not Geralt. And then when they flash back to when he's a kid and someone addresses him as Vesemir, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit, and
like,
and then you realize like time, like this had been around this takes place a long time before,
way before
Geralt's version of the story, and there's always been multiple Witchers around, but this is like peak Witchers, really. Technically, this is like probably hundreds of Witchers at one time that were still around at Kaer Morhen, and man, I tell you what, like right out the gate, like. At first, I was like, okay, we're getting into this. Okay, start out good. I was like, I'm always hesitant for things like this because you just never know sometimes with animation. And, man, I tell you what, it didn't take but 20 minutes. It's like, oh, this is fucking dope.
Yeah.
Like, already you're seeing titties, you're seeing blood.
And dude, there's some, like, no kids are safe.
No
kids are safe in this cartoon.
There's nudity all over, like, all kinds of stuff. And I love blood and nudity, especially if they're together. So that's just me, right?
Kinky.
But I really had a blast watching this. It's one of those things where like you can tell I always do this, like clearly we're all connected to our phones, blah blah blah, and I try to be better about it these days, especially when I'm watching stuff that we're going to talk about in the show. But sometimes I find myself kind of bored and I'll pick up the phone and do something like this. After a while, I didn't even look at my phone for the rest of this show.
Yeah,
I was like,
I
was locked in. The story that takes place and the twist a little bit, and what goes on, which leads to the big question, like. The source of a lot of these things that are walking around was this potentially the story, how it ended up? Was that the source to some of the stuff?
When they mentioned it earlier on when they're having their first meeting after the events that happened with the first encounter, and they're talking about, wow, the Witchers, they're the ones that are responsible for this, and everyone's like, no, they're not. And then as things transpire more, you're like, oh.
Yeah, it was really quite revealing, and I thought it was like, again, it was written really well. It was exciting the entire time. You had some not too much of like the mushy BS that sometimes the drama can like almost kind of take you out of it. There needs to be an element of that, and I do agree with that, especially with emotion. You want to be engaged, but that didn't override a lot of the stuff. It was done really well. You realize that something they don't talk about often, but Witchers live longer because of the mutations and things like that too. I thought it was just done really well overall. I enjoyed the action. There was some actual scenes that take place in the air that I thought was fucking gnarly, and I'm like, all right, clearly it's over the top, but I'm completely fine with that because it was a good time. It was fun, and then the kind of what happens at the end was really, really fast paced, and you're just like, oh fuck, like you didn't really know what was going on. There's a lot of illusion stuff, and there is clearly in the series as well too. But overall, I gotta say, like, I was excited to watch this, and I was overjoyed on how much I enjoyed this. Clearly there's hopefully room for some more of this, and it just makes me more excited once again to get to December and watch season 2 of The Witcher that's coming out as well too. So kudos to anybody that's involved in this. Honestly, more Witcher stuff is definitely not a bad thing, and especially for me. But man, if you get a chance, you got Netflix, you want to check it out.
83 minutes, so it's not terribly long. It's compelling stuff. Like I said, when you find out what's really going on with Vesemir's like mentor, you're just like, oh shit.
It hits that plateau and just keeps running the rest of the time. Yeah, like it's awesome.
There's a lot of like oh shit moments, especially in the last like 20 minutes. You're like, oh fuck. I mean, I'm not familiar with the Witcher lore. I'm not familiar with the Witcher 3 or the books or anything like that. But once that reveal happens, I was like, okay, no, man, no. I just dig this from a standalone perspective. I don't need the fucking
right. You don't.
I'm like, this is really compelling stuff.
As a standalone story, it's really, really enjoyable. It was pretty awesome. And at the end of the day, like having that connection, being an actual character that you kind of that you recognize, and being Vesemir, and kind of like getting like his background and stuff like that. And man, I was just really, really, really shocked at how enjoyable.
And the animation is tight. That's one thing I want to say about Netflix, man. Lately, their animated shows have been fantastic. He-Man, I know Castlevania is supposed to be an exceptional animated show. Too. So Netflix is really crushing it on the animated front. Mm-hmm. They're bringing in some talent, and they're making some beautiful fucking shows in animation. I mean, really, really good stuff. Mm-hmm. So 83 minutes of your time, compelling stuff, good action. There's some twists that you don't see coming. The characters are well written, well spoken. A lot of good dialogue. it was really entertaining, especially for somebody who's not too familiar with all the lore. I'm sure there's probably some things in there where you're like, oh shit, I know this, I know that. I didn't know that stuff, but the main story arc, I was like, okay, I'm in on this, dude. I was digging it. And like you said, dude, I love the music in the Witcher movie, Witcher game. I didn't play too lot of Witcher 3, but I have listened to that soundtrack.
That soundtrack
multiple times while I'm working.
Oh man,
that music is fucking dope, dude.
I
They
listen to
make
that
some great
soundtrack
music
so often.
It is really, really good. So definitely worth a look. It's on Netflix. 83 minutes. Can do a lot worse.
And when Witcher 3 gets that next gen upgrade.
Rumor has it. Well, here's the thing. It's funny. CD Projekt Red had like a call this week, and they said both the what's the shit game that you love? Cyberpunk 2077 and Witcher 3 updates are both slated for this year. But then shortly after that, a spokesperson from The Witcher or from CD Projekt Red said, "We're not sure about the Cyberpunk thing. We're trying." Right. So first the call said, "Yeah, we're good," and then somebody came out and said, "We don't know about Cyberpunk yet." But it sounds like Witcher 3 update is looking good for the end of 2021.
That's one of the few games that I've been looking to kind of replay at some point. So.
I would actually not mind playing that because I did like the game, but at the time I was so into Destiny 2, and it was really difficult for me to like find
2015.
time. Yeah, I was knee deep in Destiny 2.
Yeah,
and like I still love Destiny 2 in the PvE front. The PvP side doesn't do anything for me. I could use, I could really use like a nice deep. But the thing is, man, if I know that Cyberpunk 2077 next gen update is somewhere close, possibly, I don't want to start fucking Witcher 3 and then have the Cyberpunk thing drop at some point too, because I'm gonna want to play Cyberpunk before I play fucking Witcher 3.
Yeah, Cyberpunk you can get done in about half the time that you could put a game playthrough Witcher 3 with all the DLC.
Oh, really?
I put 300 hours into Witcher 3 with all the DLC and everything.
Shit.
I mean, Cyberpunk I probably put about 100 hours into, we'll say.
Okay, chat, what is worse? Tone not playing Punch-Out or Dude not playing Witcher 3? Well, considering Tone is like 90 years old and he hasn't played Punch-Out yet, that's far more egregious than me not playing
played it a few months ago.
Witcher 3 is still a relatively new game to a degree. And
over 1,000 Game of the Years and accolades.
But Witcher 3, I know, but it's Punch-Out, dude. That's from like 1986. Fuck out of here. It's like 30 years ago. I don't want to hear that shit. Punch-Out was an easy-ass fucking game, mind you.
Wah.
That's some bullshit.
Move on.
All right, how you doing?
Just move on.
You good? Moving on. All right, cool.
Fine, uncle.
Final topic of the evening. Well, second to final topic. We have some Marvels to talk about. But let's talk about this wild fucking episode of What's If Episode 4. Now, look. Episode 3 was pretty cool. That was pretty dope, man. There was a darker turn for the themes of the story. The first 2 episodes were, I don't want to say lighthearted, but compared to these last 2 episodes, they were lighthearted. This episode focused on Doctor Strange and what would have happened had he not lost the use of his hands, but lost the love of his life. Was it Christine? Was that her name, Christine?
Yes.
Christine dies in this version of Doctor Strange's story. And the one thing that I really liked about this episode, much like the last, even though the last episode was a little bit darker, this one focuses on grieving the loss of somebody. And I thought that was exceptional. This was a very dark episode.
Oh my God, yeah.
But man, there was some kick-ass shit going on here that could have big impact on the MCU going forward. But Tone, I want to go to you first, man, because I know this is your jam. I know you're excited about the Multiverse of Madness. I know you're excited about Spider-Man. There's a lot going on here that could play a big part in these upcoming movies.
I didn't realize how dark this episode was going to get, and I was really quite shocked. Even a third of the way through it, I'm like, I still don't know what are they angling with here? Like, what's going on? And then when he started doing, and if you haven't seen this yet, so maybe some spoilers in here, but I think a lot of you have. If you don't love anything, you can't. Okay, that's fair. Which is kind of it's just funny for Doctor Strange because they deviated a little bit from the actual Doctor Strange movie, whereas this Doctor Strange and his interest definitely have a closer tie.
Yeah.
Instantly, that was much different. The car drive, things like that, all kinds of different things happened. But outside of the fact that clearly Doctor Strange takes a different path, overall, what they're really showing is that the multiverse has no boundaries, and I think that clearly the series keeps doing that. But I feel like this one, compared to the other ones, they keep getting less about fun and more unique, and you're like, oh, that's fucking cool.
Right.
It's starting to really explore a lot of those like either the motions or
heavy
like
themes, like
yeah,
real
very
dark
like real
stuff.
cerebral and stuff like that as well too. And this episode definitely explored that. Doctor Strange definitely was kind of a shitbag early on before he became the Sorcerer Supreme.
After watching this episode, now I went back to thinking about the trailer from Spider-Man, where I was like, man, this doesn't seem like something Strange would do. You know how he did the spell after Wong's warning?
Mhm.
After watching this trailer, I was like, okay, I forgot about Strange being this type of
he's
arrogant prick.
he's very pretentious. He's very smart. So he's, even if he's not, I don't know if in the MCU he's technically considered the Sorcerer Supreme yet, or maybe he is. But that power is going to give him some form of like hubris as well too. That's how power works, right? But man, this episode got super dark with the direction that it went with. I was really shocked it kind of went that route at first, because I expected all these to just be like, oh, fun little multiverse, whatever's. Well,
Right.
This is showing you that the multiverse. Guess what, everybody? It's not all fucking
Things
champagne
can go to
and,
shit
and
real
rainbows,
fast.
right? There's other sides to people that we're not showing, and this I think more than the other ones. Like the Avengers one was shocking just because you're killing off Avengers and
people are
things like
getting
that, and I
killed,
get that.
yeah.
This is literally taking a character and just doing a 360 and
Right.
going a whole different direction,
180.
and can be whatever, and becoming a whole different character entirely. And what was fun for me was that when you get to a point and you find out why and how this happened, and it came back to the ancient one, of course, too. But you get to a point that you see the two of them, the two Stranges, doing their different things. But man, this evil Strange was so grief-stricken that he literally just absorbs these powers from all these different types of like evil entities or whatever. Man, like it almost makes you think like, I kind of want to know more about that story. Like I
Right.
want kind of more almost like a villain like that as well too. And I think that's kind of what partly they're alluding to. They're still pushing the envelope for everybody to realize that not everything, like I talked about, like Thanos was a villain that they could build over time that made sense, that was real tangible. This next phase that we're getting into, that I keep saying that I'm really excited about, is because these more obscure characters, more fantastical, more mysticism, more different types of the arts and things like that, or magic, or whatever you want to say. And we're really, really at this point, we're putting our foot to the gas and we're kind of hitting that stride with them.
Right.
And that's what we saw with this one. And again, like we saw, which we're pretty sure with the tentacles, got to be
It
Shumagorath,
has
which we
to be
saw
at
in the
this
first
point, yeah.
episode. And a neat way to tie that together was like you see Captain Carter come through and come back 70 years later, and the tentacles are flying off. Was she able to break free because of what happened in his timeline?
Right.
I don't fucking know. And when you're thinking about the different timelines and how the multiverse works, it can get pretty complex exactly in how that thought process ends up, which means literally, like the Watcher says, there's a lot of endless possibilities. And we got to see some action from him, or interaction with him as well too, because the Sorcerer Supreme, or Strange, whatever they call him, I don't even know what to call him, Evil Doctor Strange, was able, he knew he was there. He was able to commune with them because he just got so fucking powerful.
And see, that's the one thing I took away from this episode, dude, is you found out in this episode just how powerful Strange could be, where he could seriously wipe out.
Yeah, an
Everything.
entire reality and timeline
Yeah.
from his decision.
That's the one thing I kind of saw. I was like, man, don't ever piss him off,
Right.
because you don't realize how powerful. I mean, they talk about Wanda being ultra powerful. They talk about Captain Marvel being ultra powerful. This episode shows what could possibly happen
Right.
with Strange, and that's scary as fuck.
Well, to bake your noodle even more, we're going to get him and Wanda together. So we're talking about two, like, and if she is one of these, like, catalyst, what do they call? I can't remember the name of Nexus beings, We're talking about these two crazy, super powerful people. She can rewrite reality, and he just, like, completely destroyed a timeline. And these two are going to fucking team up,
Captain Crones says, kind of cool to think that version of Strange is still alive, might come back later. It ended with him existing in reality by himself.
In his own reality, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, absolutely. So you could totally come back, and that's some of the hypothesis going on out there too. Is will some of these characters somehow bleed into the MCU as well too? And again, we come back to we potentially saw Shumagorath twice now. who I'm starting to really believe, and I keep saying my tinfoil hat, all this stuff is leading to things that's going to affect Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Shumagorath is probably going to be the next like huge like mystical terror threat or whatever that might be. And that again, that's really exciting, but it just continues to make me want Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness even more. So all this
is
stuff's
that
gonna
March?
Yeah, I think that's spring. Something
Go
like
ahead,
that.
sorry.
So at the end of the day, this was quite a surprise. I don't know if this is my favorite episode yet. It's really hard for me to say that. But gosh, it really actually kind of might be because
Episode 2 was cool because there's a lot of stuff going on in that episode that was. It felt like this is a different universe. Like this is a different reality. But in turn, like I love when stuff that is typically poppy or kind of fun and there's a lot of levity. I love when shows like that or media like that really focuses on some of the darker stuff. Especially what's going on with Strange, dealing with grief, the loss of somebody, and he's going through all the stages and stuff. I love when something like a comic or something like that is typically more poppy, more fun and exciting, takes the time to really explore some of the darker themes. And I thought that's why I like this episode. It's the most mature episode of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, again, to finalize this all out and move on, but, keep in mind some of the books at Cagliostro's library and how that character and who that character is, even in the MCU, or now really at that point, or in the comics, and the books that we saw, like, it was missing the pages from, the Doctor Strange movie as well, too, and the Darkhold that fucking Wanda now has, and he's got, some of these other books. These are all things that also somehow sometimes tie into Shumagorath and all this crazy, like, very Lovecraftian things. So, again, I think that it's something that not a lot of people realize and sometimes still miss, and is that, these Disney Plus shows, even if it's a cartoon, are definitely it's a piece of the puzzle to building that Phase 4, and there are some things that they're going to reference and come to right down the road that people might not understand or miss because they didn't watch it, but they're really using all this stuff to prepare you for this next round of movies coming out for the MCU. And God damn it, I got to tell you, I'm really excited about it. I'm super hyped about it because I think, whereas as the first couple of phases were very, very, I don't want to say simple, but like easy to swallow in some way with their storytelling.
They weren't terribly complex.
Right. They were pretty much straightforward. There wasn't a lot of, outside of like Captain Marvel and some Thanos things, there wasn't a lot of crazy shit going on, maybe some time travel to the quantum realm. This next shit is going to be fucking wild, and I can't wait for it because it's more obscure characters and it's a lot more room for adaptation and some fun shit.
And I think that's like one of the things that we're most excited about with like, the start of tomorrow. What we'll talk about here in a moment. Actually, let's move over to that right now, dude. Tomorrow we are going to see Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. We're going to go see that tomorrow night. And I think, you talk about the obscure characters of Marvel and how that allows them to kind of like, different interpretations. It gives them a little bit more freedom to kind of like, tweak them a little bit so they fit the narrative they're trying to build. We're really excited to go see this movie tomorrow night. Not only because, like, look, Black Widow is what it is. Black Widow was, I thought it was just kind of like a one-off type of show. I didn't think it was a great MCU movie. But this Shang-Chi is going to be, this is the official kickoff of the Phase 4.
Yeah.
Like this is the big movie. This is going to kick it off. It's currently sitting at a 92%. It's reviewed very well. I remember when the movie premiered, a lot of like people on Twitter were like, this show raises the standards for like the action sequences, which I'm totally fucking awesome if it's all martial arts. If it's something like, you think about movies like The Raid and all this stuff that are just like fucking crazy ass martial arts stuff, that stuff is exciting to me. So I'm really excited to go see this tomorrow night. Before we get into it, because I know there's one thing you want to talk about, we will be coming on live tomorrow night for a spoiler-free initial reaction, just talking about Shang-Chi, how it sets up Phase 4, how it compares to previous, MCU movies, and that is going to be it. No spoilers. We'll save that for next Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about Shang-Chi next Wednesday. So If you don't want, if you want to go watch it this weekend, we're going to talk about next Wednesday. This is just going to be an initial reaction, how, if we enjoyed the movie and how well it does in terms of setting up Phase 4. That is all we're going to, it'll be about a 10-minute video. It's not going to be very long. But there is something you wanted to mention, Tone, that dropped on Disney Plus this week.
Yeah. So, clearly really excited about this one. I know there was a lot of people, and myself included, that I didn't hate Iron Man 3 like everybody else. I actually look at Iron Man 3 through a different scope, and I feel like my version of looking through that gave me more appreciation for that film. And I think a lot of people, it kind of went over his head. Now, that's to do mostly just specifically with Tony Stark. The way they built the characters, the Mandarin, and I can never say it, Fing Foom Fame or whatever. I always say that wrong. The way they built all that shit, that was a complete disaster. Excuse me.
Bless you, child.
There it goes. My eyeball came out. This week, they put out something that came out in 2014, actually, to try and patch up the problem and the way the fans reacted to Iron Man 3, which was actually a pretty smart thing to do.
It's clever, dude.
And it was very reminiscent of the dirty laundry that has nothing to do with the MCU or anything that Thomas Jane did with the Punisher after that atrocious movie that he put out for Punisher. But this brought back Sir Ben Kingsley playing the character Trevor, who was playing a version of the Mandarin.
Scoot Nari was the interviewer.
Yep. Who's clearly, and then we had none other than Sam Rockwell make an appearance again as well too. We hadn't seen him since, of course, Iron Man 2. If you watch through the credits of that. So here's my theory on this, and this is where I'm coming from. This, a lot of people forgot about that, myself included. Truth be told,
well, I mean, it's a one shot. It's 14 minutes.
Right.
Nobody's gonna be.
I had seen it years ago, but I kind of forgot about that, even with Shang-Chi coming out. But now at this point, like this week, all of a sudden, or last week, they put it on Disney Plus.
It just pops up.
Just
on Disney
pops
Plus.
it up there. Like, well, that's kind of
Kevin
random.
Feige doesn't fuck around.
That's kind of, yeah.
There's everything has.
It's always a breadcrumbs. They're not always easy to see on the ground. So there's a reason why I put up there, and everybody's like, "Oh man, did you check out that blah blah blah, getting ready before Shang-Chi?" Well, why would they do that? Well, I think if you watch that, clearly they're like, "Oh, well, you're gonna go meet the Mandarin, the real one this time, Trevor."
Yeah.
I think that is a actual prelude, partly to Shang-Chi, and that I'm hoping that we get to see Sir Ben Kingsley, even for a cameo as Trevor in Shang-Chi tomorrow.
And I told you before the show, there were reports that Ben Kingsley was at the premiere for Shang-Chi in Hollywood or in LA. So, I mean, Ben Kingsley ain't going to show up at a premiere unless he's involved in some way. So, I think your theory, I think you're definitely on the right track. I mean, Disney would not just put this out just to put it out there for shits and giggles. There's a reason behind it.
Right, and I'll be very honest. Like, this has popped up in our community. Is one that mentioned. I think it was Crash or Tricky or somebody said, "Hey, do you guys watch this yet?" Well, I've got to be honest with you. I haven't seen a whole lot of people on social media talk about that and talk about the.
Well, I mean, it's a
link there.
14-minute one shot. I mean, this is the only people that are going to be looking for that are the diehard fans. There's a lot of people that are probably like, I don't know what, that walked out of Iron Man 3 going, "Oh, that was neat," and then they just, that was it. But there's hardcore fans, like you said, that took exception with how they handled the Mandarin and Ben Kingsley's character. But this one shot really tried to fix that, and that's something they're going to definitely
I feel like
explore.
it did, very honestly. So again, I'm excited for it. I get it. Like, there's a lot of people that were upset, even on Iron Man 2, how Whiplash was portrayed, and then of course how Mandarin ended up being at the end of it. Mandarin was being played by an actor who wasn't even really the Mandarin.
Right.
And everybody's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is crazy." I think that the one shot fixed it. So I just hope that, and I don't think that they would just put that on D plus randomly.
There's a reason for it.
There's a reason for it. So they're retconning a little bit of their Iron Man 3 decision, which was a googly fuck of a mess.
It's a cool way they did it though through this one shot. I mean, you got talented
Oh,
people
it's very
involved
cool.
everywhere,
Yeah, you got 3 huge fucking actors involved, and the the supporting cast, like the random prisoners and shit. They're all funny.
Yeah.
It's all fucking hilarious. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, I'm very excited for this because, like you said, it's going to kick off Phase 4. We're going to be here tomorrow night. We're not sure exactly when it's probably about 2.
What time the movie?
6 o'clock. It takes about 10 or 15.
8:39.
Probably more like 9 o'clock before
9
we're set up
o'clock.
and ready to go. We'll bounce on here for about 10 minutes, chat with y'all, and then let you go back to it. And and if you don't see it or don't want, we're going to keep it spoiler free. If you're checking us out on YouTube and you got some comments for it after you see Shang-Chi,
We
or
will
any
have
thoughts,
definite guidelines of what we can talk about, what we're not going to talk about. It's going to be very general stuff. We will not ruin it for people.
we definitely gonna want your
Contrary to
feedback.
what Cuddles thinks.
Right. So there you go.
So, yeah, Tone, that's it for this week's show.
Yeah.
Lots of good gaming stuff. We had some movie to talk about. We have a lot of stuff coming up between now and then. We'll talk about Shang-Chi next week. We'll obviously talk about What If. Is there any? Oh, I'm hopefully going to get some time in with Psychonauts too. I started that this week. Really cool little platformer, man. Really cool little platformer for when I played right now. Psychonauts 2.
So I've been hearing it's been getting a little bit of buzz.
It's been a cool adventure so far, so I'm going to try to get some more time in with that this week, and obviously more Aliens. I'm actually going to try to stream it on, what night were we going to play? Sunday night possibly with Prime?
Definitely
Working on Intense. Might stream that on Sunday night. We'll check out some more
not
Aliens.
Sunday night at all.
Not Sunday night at all?
Friday night.
MSU, baby. Ain't got
I know
time
that's
for that
when
stuff.
I can play. It's only Friday night.
But no, we'll have a lot of content going up between now and next Wednesday. We'll be live tomorrow night. I'm not sure what time. We'll set out a tweet, let you know when we'll be live. Talk very, very briefly about Shang-Chi, our initial reactions to that. And then next Wednesday, back live right here on Banter and Babble.
Do any other big movies besides Shang-Chi come out this weekend on like HBO or anything like that?
I would have to look. Make sure you're in the Discord. We'll keep you updated on what we're watching. I do know we're getting close to Prisoners of the Ghostland. That's going to be out soon. I think that's in 2 weeks.
And when is Saints of Newark?
Malignant. I think Malignant is next week.
Okay.
I have to check. That's the new James Wan horror flick. Really excited for that. But no, we'll go over through the list. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like we'll go through the list not only for September but October and November. We got to get our ducks in a row because there is just an onslaught of movies coming out between now and Christmas, and we want to make sure we're covering everything. If there's a movie that you think we should check out that we might be overlooking, let us know. We'll add it to the queue, check it out, talk about it. And again, we talked about last week. I know Cuddles and Seven Dungeons are working on a video review for Phasphobia on PC. If you want to share something, if there's a movie or a game you want to talk about that we haven't checked out or aren't able to,
or you got a different opinion,
or if you have a different opinion, we want to hear from you. Send us a video, send us a voice message, call into the show. The call-in line is still open. It'll always be open. We want to hear from you. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on between now and the new year. It's going to get crazy. We have a lot of stuff going on. So how much time can I get? You get 3.5 minutes, Cuddles.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, Cuddles. That's what you get. Everyone else, you get 10. So it's simple as that. But, Tone, I think that's it. We got anything else to talk about?
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope each and every one of you has a great Labor Day weekend. Enjoy those 3 days off. Twitch, do fucking better.
Hashtag it.
Do fucking better.
Hashtag.
Take care of all the content creators. Protect them from the bullshit. Do better. For Fanboytone, I'm TheDude79. We'll see you tomorrow night. Be good, everybody. And one last thing. Let's close out with some more stream vibes from AnthouseBeats. Available September 3rd. Pick up that album, Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere else, baby. That whole list.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out.